Jay here, welcome to Models Memories Weekly, episode 37. Models Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. And stay tuned all the way till the end to see a montage of painted minis courtesy of the EOB Complete community. This is a show where I talk about painting, modeling, and wearing experiences from the week, and I end every episode with a story. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Jay, you put out 3 YouTube videos a week and you stream every single night. How could you possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here it goes. This week I was thinking a lot about Kill Team, as I am often one to do, and I put together a little pointless wish list of the things that Games Workshop should make in Kill Team. Now Games Workshop better be listening, because Games Workshop is Santa, and this is Santa's list, and they better check it twice. Or I'm gonna be naughty or nice. So first thing, I think, I'm gonna go through all of the factions available in Kill Team, and I'm going to, because it looks like every quarter they're gonna be releasing these Kill Team bundle boxes. We've gotten Octarius and now we've gotten Chalnath, and we're probably gonna get more, and each one is gonna bundle together 2 new things for Kill Team. We got the Veteran Guardsmen, which are different from the Compendium Guardsmen, and we got the Orc Commandos, which are different from the Compendium Commandos, and now we've gotten the Pathfinders and the Sisters Novitiates. So it looks like we are going to be getting either a refresh of models that already exist, like the Pathfinders, or we're gonna get a brand new thing like the Sisters Novitiates. So I made myself a list of all the things that I think that they should remake or create new with Kill Team. And starting off with the Space Marines, I think the Space Marines already have way too much stuff, so I think that they should remake the Scouts. The Scouts, the metal Scouts were not great, but they were better than the current plastic Scouts available. I've built a lot of Scouts and they look real bad. They don't have many options, they do not look good, and I think they are a prime candidate for new Scouts. I'm sure they're right around the corner because we got Scouts in the new Black Templar releases, and so I'm sure Primaris Scouts are right around the corner, and I cannot wait, and they should work perfectly for Kill Team. For the Grey Knights, that's an easy one. Primaris Grey Knights. The Grey Knights look super dope, and I really like the Strike Squad, but they are old and squatty and small. Make them Primaris, make them look cool, and bring them out for Kill Team. I would love that. The Imperial Guard have already gotten their thing in the Death Corps of Krieg, which are the Veteran Guardsmen. And I mean, that's something that everybody wanted, is plastic Death Corps of Krieg. So we got it. For the Adeptus Mechanicus, this is an easy one. Servitors. Servitors are a thing that exists in the background of every single Imperium faction. It's like one of the things, it's the glue that holds the Imperium together is Servitors, and they're basically not represented in the game. There's a couple of Servitors available to like Space Marines, but that's about it, and they look bad, and they're old, and they're resin. Some of them might still be metal. They're just in desperate need of a refresh, and I think it would work really well for Kill Team, because Servitors are like the lowly workers, and Kill Team is supposed to be a game of kind of low, it's not the elites and heavy supports and vehicles and flyers, it's the lowly foot soldiers, and I think Servitors would make a great addition to Kill Team and Big 40K. I want to see some Servitors. And talk about customization. I mean, that's a big thing with Kill Team, is you need to have options. Servitors can have any option in the books. You can have power weapons, you can have plasma guns, meltas, heavy bolters, just any weapon you can just bolt to the side of a lobotomized slave. It's great. It's very 40K, and I think that is what they should do, the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Sisters of Battle already got their Sisters Novitiates, the Scouts, essentially Sisters of Battle Scouts, so they're taken care of. Talons of the Emperor, Adeptus Custodes was a little bit of a tricky one, because I do not want to see a new, lesser powerful Custodes unit. I think that would be bad. It was okay that they did that with the Sisters of Battle in the Novitiates, because it kind of makes sense for them to have some sort of a scout option, but I don't want to see every army in the game get a guardsman equivalent. That is not good. We already have Chaos Cultists, Guardsmen, Gene Stealer Cultists, and like Zangors. Like all of those are the exact same thing. We do not need more low toughness, low damage infantry. But I think what could be cool is a new kit for the Sisters of Silence, because currently they got 1 box to fulfill all of their stuff. So I think a new box, maybe a heavy weapon team box, and they could have some really interesting stuff, because they're like the elite of the elite of the elite, like the Custodes are. So it'd be really cool if instead of giving them heavy bolters and meltas and flamers, you gave them Volkites and sonic weapons, something really old school to make them feel really unique. That's what I'd like to see for the Custodes. For the Thousand Suns, I think a great choice would be a new Chaos Possessed kit. The Chaos Possessed are super cool, but the current plastic box available for them looks like a Power Rangers villains. It looks pretty darn bad, but in terms of a great unit for Kill Team, it's great. I mean, you can kit bash things with wings, with claws, with swords, with guns. You can do anything you want, really. And I just think make it a new kit that is super cool. You can even have power-ups where like, if you give it corn claws, it's better at fighting. If you give it a Nurgle big fat gut, it's better at being survivable. If you give it like a Slaaneshi horns, it's faster. And if you give it Tzeentch, it can shoot. You can do lots of fun stuff with it. So a new Chaos Possessed kit for the Thousand Suns. For the Death Guard, I think this was a hard one. And this is probably my most pointless wish listy thing. I think it's kind of BS that Nurgle Marines come in boxes of 7. It should come in a box of 10. Everything comes in boxes of 10. So Rubric Marines come in boxes of 10. Chaos Space Marines come in boxes of 10. Nurgle Marines come in boxes of 7. And then there's a $40 kit that sells you 3 more Death Guard. What the heck? So please make a box of 10 Death Guard with all of the options. That's all I'm asking for. They're not gonna do it, but okay. Moving on to Trader Space Marines. New Chaos Cultists. Not too long ago, the classic cultists vanished off the web store, and they've kind of been replaced with the Blackstone Fortress cultists, which look really, really good, but you only get, I think, like 7 or 8 in a box because that made sense for Blackstone Fortress, but it doesn't make sense for 40k. So a new box of Chaos Cultists with all the trimmings. That's what I want for the Trader Space Marines. For Chaos Demons is another hard one because inside of Chaos Demons, you got the 4 gods. You got Khorne, Slaanesh, Nurgle, Tzeentch. And so how do you give them a unit that would fit well with all of them? I guess you could just bring in some of the other demon things like Screamers, but I think a Chaos Undivided creature could be cool, or like Bound Demons. I don't know, it'd be hard to fit it in, but I would like to see a new unit that could swap in place of any of the 4 gods instead of just either every god getting something or just one of the gods getting everything. I think something in between all of the different chaos things would be cool. For the Eldar, I think literally any unit would be a good pick because everything in their range needs a refresh, except for maybe the Wraith units. Those things are pretty sick, but literally any of the infantry or exarchs or anything would be good for a model refresh, but I think just the regular old Guardian Defenders would be an excellent pick because there's the Guardian Defenders and then there's the Guardian Rangers, there's the close combat option and then there's the shooty option. And the kit is old and it is bad. And it would be a perfect pick for a refresh because you would get a new shiny, good-looking box of 10 Guardians, and you get all of the different weapon options for close combat and for shooting in one box. Win-win. For the Harlequins, I have absolutely no idea. Maybe just have a box that doesn't come with 7 Harlequins and comes with 10, like everything should. The Harlequins are great. And I feel like a Harlequin is a Harlequin. You don't really need, once you start breaking Harlequins into, you've got the foot soldier Harlequins and the shooty Harlequins and the fast attack Harlequins and the slow tough Harlequins, it just turns them into any other faction. So I like Harlequins staying as they are. Maybe just a way to bring in like some sort of a heavy weapon. Maybe like 1 Harlequin jet bike would be really, really cool. They will not do that. They'll do something else. But I think it'd be kind of cool to maybe have just something really, really unique to them. Boy, can you imagine that Chalnath box is like a team of Space Marine Scouts versus 1 Eldar jet bike? It would not work, but I don't know. I think that they should do something like that as opposed to coming out with a new version of Harlequins. Or just make a new box of Harlequins that comes with 10 bodies and all of the guns you want. Not just some of the guns you want. All of the guns you need to equip your guys out. For the Drukhari, the Dark Eldar, this one, hear me out, slaves. The Dark Eldar famously, they take slaves, that's like why they do war, is to take slaves, to turn those slaves into fuel to keep their evil Eldar bodies alive. And so I think slave, like a little band of 10 slaves could be an interesting fighting force. It'd probably be something along the lines of the Sister Repentia in terms of like damage output and design mechanics. But once again, I don't really think they'll do that because it's not very nice. But it is very 40k. And maybe they could come up with a way to do it, like Dark Eldar prisoners with jobs. Maybe they could do something like that. But I think it would be very thematic, and it would be a good way to give the Dark Eldar something that they don't have that's very thematic. And yeah, I just like that idea. The Greenskins already got their Orc Commandos, and the Hunter Cadre, the Tau, already got their Pathfinders. So for the Necrons, I kind of have two picks, and I don't think either of them are particularly likely, but I would love to see the Pariahs make a comeback. The Pariahs were a old school metal Necron unit that was anti-psyker. Right now, the Necrons don't really have anti-psykers. You can take Gloom Prisms on a Necron Spider, but you never would because it's just a weird option for that unit. And it's kind of expensive points-wise. But the Pariahs could make for a really, really good anti-psyker unit. And I think a way to make them different from the Lich Guard or the Praetorians is to make them kind of fragile and squishy. I think that actually could be kind of neat. The Necron Pariahs are like the Necrons' first attempt at turning mortals into Necrons, kind of testing the waters to see if they could transfer themselves back into mortal beings. So it would be really, really cool to have them make a comeback. Probably won't happen. Another thing that probably won't happen would be a Canoptech Constructs box, something that comes with Necron Scarabs, because famously Necron Scarabs have never been sold separately. I think Forge World had some Scarab options, but that doesn't count as Forge World. A box of Scarabs and probably some other Necron-y things, like Acanthrites, which is something that Forge World used to sell, that I just made fun of in Forge World. Acanthrites, and maybe even like some Necron turrets. That could be really cool. You plunk down these weird bug-looking turrets onto the battlefield at the start of the game, and then they can like maybe shoot twice per game or something. That could be really, really neat. But a Necron box of Canoptech Constructs. For the Tyranids, this is a really easy one. New Gene Stealers. The old Gene Stealers are old. They're really starting to show their age. I think a new box of Gene Stealers would be absolutely lovely. 10 to a box, not 8. What is with all of these older kits coming in weird numbers? But the Gene Stealers, a proper box of 10, and you can even maybe throw in an extra sprue for Kill Team so that your Gene Stealers have more customization options. Like kind of like the exploding tanker Gene Stealers from Deathwing. Like there's been lots of different types of Tyranids over the years, and but the only ones that exist are the one normal plastic one. So just give us Kill Team Gene Stealers. For the Cadre Mercenary, aka the Kroots, I have an idea to bring either do a new kit for the Vespid Stingwings, or you just do any other alien species that is allied with the Tau. And I think this would work perfectly, because number one, the Vespid Stingwing need an overhaul. They haven't been good. Their models actually look all right, although you need to redo them because they were made of resin. But they've never really made sense in game. I mean, the Tau are supposed to be like the Covenant from Halo, like a whole big organization of aliens. But it's like 80% the Tau, 15% the Kroots, and then just a 5 missing percent. It's not even the Vespid, it's just something else. So Vespid Stingwings or any other alien race would work great. And then for the Brood Coven, the Gene Stealer cults, this idea, Games Workshop, take it, please take this idea. Highborn. The Gene Stealer cult, when they take over a planet, they don't just take over like the low-level grunt workers like is represented in the Gene Stealer cult range. They sneak their way into every echelon of society, and so I think some highborn noble Gene Stealer cultists could be really, really cool. I mean, in 40k, like, it's like the olden times, and so people, those are educated people. They can be classically trained in like combat and shooting. You could do some really, really cool things, and it can make for some really cool models that are in like Gothic Victorian costume with, power swords and bolters. It could be really, really cool, and I would love to see it. It would be great cannon fodder for conversion. Gene Stealer cult, Highborn. Free, you get that one for free, Games Workshop, please take it. So those are all of my ideas of what Games Workshop should make for Kill Team, and if they do make any of these things, I am going to I told you so hard, it's gonna be great. But they probably won't. I don't know. They'll come up with their own things that are probably better than my ideas. But we'll see. Also, last week I talked about the Games Workshop Christmas boxes, and so I forgot to talk about the Age of Sigmar boxes. I didn't really talk about them just because I didn't feel like I needed to, because that video was mostly just talking about, Games Workshop prices versus friendly local game store prices, and if $200 is a worthy price to spend anyhow. But I'll really quickly go through these boxes because I do think these are actually really cool, and Age of Sigmar is actually tempting me maybe a little bit more than 40k these days. So starting off with the Battle for Soulblight Gravelords Revenant Legion. Man, this box is calling to me. It's so cool. It comes with 66 miniatures. And I know that a lot of those are skeletons and zombies, but I like skeletons and zombies. I have no problem with that. That is a table full of models, and I just love it. I really like the horseback riders. I really like the creepy centaur vampire lady. Love this box, 10 out of 10. The Battle Force Hedonites of Slaanesh Sybarite Blade Carnival. It's really good. I really like this box. These models are new and every single model in there is a banger, but you don't get that many of them. It looks like you get about 30 models, and 30 models. Granted, they're great models, and it could be that these guys are a lot tougher in game, and so it totally makes up for you not having as many bodies as other things, but it just doesn't jingle my jangles like 66 vampires. So this box is B+. The Battle Force Lumineth Realm Lords Vanari Shining Host. This box is okay too. It's kind of got the same Hedonites problem where you don't get that many models, but at least these models are dressed to the nines, just super ornate with banners and shields and horseback riders and a little ballista and a bannerman and a guy on a dragon horse. I feel like you get a little bit more. You just get a little bit more stuff, and I really like the look. I really like the look of the Lumineth. I think they're really, really cool. I mean, they're the goodest of the good guys you could possibly good. These guys are really, really fun. So I'd give that box a gold star. And then the Battle Force Ossiarch Bone Reapers Mordazan Tithe Echelon. It's good. I like the Boner Boys. I think they're really, really cool. You get some of the cool kits, like their weird, lizard monster with club hands. You get the Boner Boys with the 4 heads that can see in all directions, which are just super, super cool. You get a nice smattering of Boner Boys. You get a bunch of really, really cool stuff. And you get their super macabre ballista that has 100 human hands as walking feet. It's really, really creepy. I like the Boner Boys. And honestly, the Boner Boys interest me less than the badass terrain that is featured in this photograph. I want to buy that. That looks really, really cool. I have no idea if that's terrain they made in the past. It better be terrain they make currently, but I don't think they do. So yeah, that box is really, really dope. I think for me, it would be a hard pick between the Lumineth Realm Lords and the Vampire Count. And God, it might have to be the Vampire. 66 models, that just sounds like so much fun. But that's what I think about those boxes. They all look good. Honestly though, as good as all those boxes are, the best bang for your buck Age of Sigmar purchase you could probably make this holiday season is buying a Dominion on the second-hand market. I have seen Dominion go for some really, really, really good prices. I think it's just they probably made as many as they made Indominus boxes, and Age of Sigmar is just not as nearly as popular as Big 40k. But every model in that box is gorgeous. It comes with 58 models, and if you can get it for a deal. In fact, I'm gonna right now eBay Dominion. Dominion Age of Sigmar. Have to be slightly specific for eBay to figure out what I'm talking about. All right, spell it correctly. Wow, one listing actually spelt it wrong like I just spelt it. That was awesome. I see a box for 130 bucks. I see another box for 120 bucks. So yeah, super great discount on those models. That is a great deal. You get 2 really nice armies that you can play. You loan one to a buddy, and all of a sudden you are playing Age of Sigmar. It comes with the full big rule book, the BRB for Age of Sigmar. So that box, honestly, if you like the Stormcasts and the Cruel Boys, Or even if you just kind of like them, but you really want to get into Age of Sigmar and you don't want to spend 200 buccaritos, I think that is a great pick. Honestly, if you can get it for like $100, half off, like post in the comments below that you got a good deal so that I can like that comment, because good for you. And last but not least, I actually went to my local Warhammer store and hung out for an hour and did some painting, and I painted a little bit of this Myphitic Blight Hauler. I painted a little bit more of it when I got home, so now it's like 50% done maybe. But I had a lot of fun hanging out there and just sitting and painting and chit-chatting with the super nerds, and it was really, really cool. It was a fun hobby environment. I used to do that a lot back in the day, but not so much lately because now I'm really, really, really busy and I just paint nonstop 24/7. So it's hard to have the inclination to go somewhere else to paint too, but it was fun and I had a good time. Broke this little thingy that I have to fix. But other than that, I love this model and it's turning out really, really nice, and that is what I worked on this week. I wish I had gotten more painting done this week, but I was furiously painting other things for other projects. And if you want to see those projects, and in general, if you just like the things that we do, and the best way to support us is by becoming a member of our Patreon. Over there, you're gonna get access to some behind the scenes, voting on models I paint live here on YouTube, a live hobby hangouts every week, terrain STLs, and more exclusive content. But with that said, it's time to move into the story part of this show. The show's called Models and Memories because of the memories associated with the models. And this week, I don't have anything to show you because I am going to be presenting some digital media. This week, I was listening to the audiobook, the very first episode, the very first book of the Horus Heresy novel, Horus Rising. And I had a really, really good time reading it. It's a good book. It's a Dan Abnett classic. I'm really excited to read some of the Horus Heresy books. And I've read a bunch of the 40k books, and it made me think of what was the very first one, and that was the Eisenhorn trilogy, Xenos, Malleus, and Hereticus. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with those books because everyone says that those are the perfect gateway to the Black Library and are the best possible books to read if you really want to get into the universe. And I thought they were fine. I don't know, they're good. I didn't like Eisenhorn that much. I didn't really love any of his friends. Beckwin was pretty cool, and I heard she's gotten her own book series, so maybe I'll give that a read. But I don't know, I didn't love them. I decided I probably, if I didn't have a wargaming YouTube channel where I spent every second of every day painting or preparing to paint models, I don't know if I would have gotten into the Black Library books. I like books, but I don't know. The Black Library is a whole nother layer of nerd, and I don't know if I was right. I don't know if I would have taken the plunge if it wasn't, I don't know, a good move for my career. But I didn't really like Eisenhorn, Xenos, Malleus, or Hereticus. So leave your comments accordingly. But I read a whole bunch of other books that I really, really enjoyed. I read Brutal Cunnin, an orc book, and that book does a really, really brilliant job of kind of using the orcs as a comedic. It's got an A story and a B story. The A story is the orcs is a group of orcs hilariously running amok on the battlefield, and then the B story is the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Archmagos Dominus just having a really bad time trying to wrangle in her robotic brethren. It's a really, really cool book, actually, and it's a pretty quick one, I think. It's really good. I would say, honestly, I don't know, it's so hard with all these Black Library books, because a lot of these, they really kind of come into their own when you have some background on what's going on. Otherwise, it can be like, what's happening? I don't care. The Eisenhorn trilogy is fine. I feel like Eisenhorn is a little light on meat and a little heavy on atmosphere. And atmosphere doesn't grab me that hard in books. I like atmosphere in movies because it just looks cool and I can just appreciate it, but in a book, I want you to get to it. And speaking of getting to it, The Infinite and the Divine, it's a fairly new book, and it's all about the Necrons, two famous Necron characters, Oricon the Diviner and Trazy the Infinite, and it is the best book I have ever read. It is not the best book I've ever read. No, it is not the best book I've ever read, but it is easily the best 40k book I've ever read. Probably up there with some of my favorite sci-fi books. And I really loved it. It was funny. It was action-packed. It had heart for a book about robots. It had heart. The Necrons aren't robots. They're soulless entities inside of metal forms. But I really like the Infinite and Divine. If you want to read a Black Library book, I think you can probably read the Infinite and Divine and get a kick out of it, even without being a 40K nerd. Because really, the heart of that book comes from the two main characters, and you get them. One of them is a stuck-up know-it-all, and the other one is a lazy know-it-all. It's really fun. I love that book so much. I also read Soul Hunter, the first book in the Night Lords trilogy, and it was very good. I enjoyed it. Haven't gotten around to the second or third books yet, but I will. I also read Indomitus, which is the novel that kind of coincides with the Indominus box, and it's actually surprisingly good. You'd think it would be bad, because it kind of reminds me of like when you does anyone remember way back you'd buy like Crunch cereal, and it would come with a Crunch cereal CD-ROM game? Like, it's super dumb, but it actually was really, really good. It's kind of like some of the Star Wars movies where it jumps from character perspective to different character perspectives, and it had some really, really interesting stuff going on. It had some really cool Primaris characters who were struggling with being Primaris characters in a non-Primaris world. It had some really, really cool Necron point of view characters. It had a point of view of a Necron destroyer lord who the entire book is just like, kill, maim, burn. Kill, maim, burn, and then in his last moments of life, he has like his life flashes before his eyes, and he sees his Necron life and his Necrotai or family back before Bryotransference 65 million years ago for the Necrons. And in that last moment of life, he realized that being a destroyer cultist was bad. And it was really cool. I liked it a lot. Indominus was good. And I read some other ones, they were fine, whatever. But I really liked Horus Rising, the first book of the Horus Heresy series, and I think I definitely will give more books in the series a try. But if you want my recommendation, skip Eisenhorn and go straight to the Infinite and the Divine. It won't teach you much about the universe, but it's a really fun read. But that is my memory for this week, going through my Audible library of Horus Heresy novels. And that'll bring this episode of Models and Memories to a close. Now it's time for the real star of the show, this week's EOB Complete submissions. We put out a challenge to our community to send us before and after photos of their recently finished models to be immortalized in our videos. If you want to join in the fun, you can submit a before and after photo of your painted mini to our Discord server, which you can find in the description below, or you can post it to Instagram with the hashtag EOBComplete. Without further ado, let's look at and get inspired by what the folks have finished this week. A Sister of Battle Kill Team by EME, an Orc Zodgrod Wartsnaga by Failing Bravely, an Orc War Boss in Mega Armor by Eckthetanker, a Marvel Crisis Protocol Cable by Manning the Fort, a Kit Bash Primaris Captain by Elder, some Little Pumpkin Friends by Contrasting Hobby, a Warrior by Angry Gonk, a Mark III Devastator Marine by Rassilon, a Castellan Crow by K-John, a Chaos Barbarian by The Fluffy One, a Malifaux Parker by Oko Pyrus, some Tau Stealth Suits by Ao Omain, a Chaos Warrior Bust by You Like Jazz, an Orc Defkapta by Parmesan, an Orc Knob by Iseo Zimmer, a Space Marine Aggressor by Chair Lizard Blue, a Custom Necron Lord by Sire Smashy, a Night Lord Leviathan Dreadnought by the official Tyberos, a Guy Pointing by Mommy Negan, an Infinity Nomad Chick by the Happy Heretic, a Tau Commander Farsight by Kino Wari, a Wizard with a Deer by Mara Kooning Minis, a Sci-Fi Spaceship by Pifo, a Chaos Aspiring Champion by Nyarlathotep's Prized Hamster, some Chaos Space Marine Intercessors by Chad, a Space Marine Razorback by Ron, a Primaris Judiciar by Muckle, some Orcs by Painterly Git, and a Frog by Gorefield. Congratulations to everyone for a job well done. It's no small feat to get paint on minis, and you all should feel really proud. Nothing gets the hobby juices flowing like finishing a project, and we all thank you for sharing your work, motivating us and the hobby community to paint our plastic. Thanks for sharing.